Welcome back to Power Lunch. Despite a year of lobbying, a comprehensive ban on all forms of alcohol advertising is now looking increasingly likely. The proposed alcohol advertising ban could have a significant impact not only on the industry, but also other players linked to the trade. Michael Mabasa, spokesperson for the Industry Association for Responsible Alcohol Use, joins us. Michael, I don't know if you have ever been called arrogant before, but that's certainly what the Health Minister, Aaron Motsoaledi, said about you and your colleagues in the liquor industry yesterday. What have you done to the man to evoke such an emotional reaction?
Well, Alec, I think we are obviously very surprised by the comments. We obviously disagree with the manner in which government has proposed, in relation to this particular bill. And if our disagreement means arrogance, then we are obviously concerned. But our view is that we need to tackle the issue, and we need to be able to address it the best way we can in the best interest of the country, because any alcohol ban in the country will have major implications, not only for the industry, but certainly for other downstream economy sectors as well.
Clearly, the emotional side is there's a lot of alcohol abuse. That is one of the issues that the minister is no doubt trying to address. The unintended consequence of this, though, is something that we need to unpack. And perhaps if you could help us, have you done any research into this? Similar action was taken elsewhere in the world and what the implication might have been.
Certainly, we've done a lot of work, and most of it also was done by the World Health Organization. And I think research has shown across the world that alcohol advertising and alcohol consumption can never be linked, particularly because of the fact that if you look at the World Health Organization's report, for an example, it says 10 years ago, we've seen a decline in terms of per capita consumption of alcohol, particularly in South Africa. So the consumption of alcohol has been going down over the past 10 years. On the other hand, the advertising spend by companies like the South African breweries, Brand House, Distel, has actually increased quite significantly. Now, you may be asking yourself, why are these companies spending so much money on advertising if, the per capita consumption is declining? The answer is very simple. The majority of South Africans, more than 65% of them, do not drink alcohol at all. Only 35% of South Africans drink alcohol. Now, the companies are investing specifically in order for them to be able to convince consumers to move from one product to the next. And we've seen also in many other countries where the consumption levels where alcohol advertising has been banned has not actually decreased. So we are also saying to our own government that let us look at the key issue. And the key issue, it is about abuse. And we agree as the industry that South Africa does have a major challenge in terms of alcohol abuse. We need to be able to work together with government in order for us to be able to address that particular key issue the best way we can.
But surely you should be coming up with some creative solutions to that. I heard earlier that there are still 47 million Americans who are on food stamps, for instance. Now, having come until recently living in a rural area, when the social grants are paid, the alcohol consumption in that area anyway shot through the roof. Surely that would be one of the ways to perhaps say, instead of paying social grants, why not introduce food stamps? And we, as the alcohol industry, could assist you in this way. Michael, I'm just trying to find some solution here that works for all parties.
And that is exactly what we are also calling for, because to be honest with you, as we speak today, we have not seen any bill. We hear that the cabinet has approved a bill on the 18th of September, but we have not seen this particular bill. And secondly, government has not engaged with us. You may have seen, I'm in Cape Town now, and the Cape Town's newspaper, for an example, on Monday, the health minister was reported on the Cape Times as saying that government will not interact and will not engage with the industry. And that for us is very worrying, because those suggestions that you are talking about and making reference to in relation to what happened in the US are some of the things that we would also want to put on the table. It's not just only in terms of social contribution that we can be able to make as the industry, but certainly other things that we believe we should be able to do differently. I mean, if you take, for an example, the issue around the frequency of adverts on television, we need to be able to look at that particular issue, because government has indicated its own objections that we have too many adverts on television, and we believe very strongly that there's scope for us to be able to deal with that particular issue. The content of these adverts also, they've raised an issue. We believe we can be able to do a lot of work in making sure that we are able to define how we can best transmit our messages through us. If you look at billboards, for an example, the industry has already started removing billboards across the country, particularly next to schools, next to places of worship, and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of interventions, Alec, that we can be able to put on the table, but all we are saying is a platform for us to be able to speak to government and be able to come up with these particular solutions so that we can really be able to address the issue of alcohol abuse, because that's where the problem is.
Michael, just to confirm, you say that you have tried to speak with government and you have been refused. They will not talk to you.
We have indeed. They have not spoken to us up until now. We have, as the industry and also our members individually, have also made their own attempts to be able to speak to the Minister of Health. And for the record, I think let me indicate that, in fact, the Minister of Social Development issued a directive in writing to all government departments not to speak at all. So we are concerned about those particular developments, and what we are calling for, it's really for our government to be able to sit with us in order for us to be able to resolve this issue. We've invested immensely as the industry. As you know, Alec, I mean, we're contributing above 92 billion every year to the South African economy, which translates to about 4.4% of the GDP of this country. And we are a big player in this industry, and we want to be able to get at least an opportunity to be able to say, we have an issue that we believe we can be able to work together in order for us to be able to resolve as an industry, collaborating with government. And the fact that we have not been given any platform is definitely a point of concern for us.
That was Michael Mabasa, the spokesperson for the Industry Association for Responsible Alcohol. And it's interesting, people who know don't want to engage, don't want to negotiate, because they know. But the problem is they don't know what they don't know. Well, after the break, we'll take a look at valuations of the JSE. Stay tuned.